person who can literally run someone's desk, an executive assistant. First, having the baseline understanding that they have to support a system. And the system has, obviously, bottom line needs for an entry-level position. What I saw with the hospitality planning and event management is the skill set of people becoming project managers. Because everything about what I want them to be able to do and serving someone else, taking care of their guests, supporting everything that he wants them to do for him is about unlearning a lot of things that are siloed. Everything is integratable right now as far as I'm concerned. I don't know what any entry-level position is now that's not going to use a myriad of tools, not the least AI. So what we decided to do is we decided to bring into our apprenticeship standards not only arts, media, and entertainment, because we love that, but business and arts, artificial intelligence and machine learning. They are in our pre-apprenticeship standards. So we have a pre-apprenticeship program and an apprenticeship program. The pre-apprenticeship program is really the kind of career discovery to figure out how to use all this RSI and training certification to see what you can do to build your skill set.
Yeah, the RSI model, what I understand, the hours are collected one by one. As you count every single hour the students are in the apprenticeship, basically. You report that to the state, basically, the RSI model, basically. Yeah, so that's what you guys are doing here, basically, this apprenticeship?
Yes.
Okay.
And so, but the goal really is to try and custom design something that meets the needs of the student today. Because the standards and all the stuff that we're looking at right now, there's years behind with some of the job hires and the people that we're meeting and talking to. They don't want anything but a human that they can trust, can walk into a situation and literally dive itself and learn a lot of the things they learn and learn what the job hire wants them to do. Learn how to speak, when to speak, how to be useful. None of that's taught in the classroom.
No, and I get that. And that makes sense for the hospitality, if you're looking for a hospitality apprenticeship, and your students are going to be in a hospitality apprenticeship, basically. But I'm not sure if that's what your apprenticeship or
well, the capstone for all of our people are they're going to have to produce.
You have a question?
Yeah, if I can.
Sure.
So, and this is kind of what it might be. It's on topic, but I don't know how to like put it in there. But to help and push us forward. So Mr. Clark, he said the main goal is to train applicants to be an executive assistant at the very least, even though we're more centered on media and arts. And something that you had said earlier is that there's not really a proper prerequisite pathway when it comes to media and arts. Like, oh, you get this requirements and this. When it comes to stability in this field.
But when I was talking about the job placement pathway, basically for this applied media art, just like example earlier, like for all my nurses will take these prerequisite science classes. They'll take these 2 years of nursing classes. They'll sit for a nursing licensing examination, and they just get recruited right out of the. You know, it's easy process.
It's really easy, and so that is what I was.
Exactly.
That being said, it's not as familiar in the media and arts sector.
Yes,
right?
it's very It's every time I meet with different organizations, basically, it's always a different pathway. Basically, there's no one standard pathway. Some come through this channel, some through that channel. Oh, I know somebody, or I worked on set, I was an extra here, I know somebody here. I participated in a graduate project, and my teacher was also working in the studio. It's been, I've heard every single story across the board, which is great. But the problem is it's hard to kind of duplicate and replicate. That's the only thing.
And that is what my job is to find the solution to that problem. And Mr. Clark has already been doing that. With that being said, like we do have a pre-apprenticeship program and apprenticeship. We're trying to reboot it right now. And that's why we're asking you guys help from LAUSD. Because I think it would be a great opportunity for everybody if we were able to onboard apprentices from LAUSD and local colleges. LAUSDs and local churches, I mean, because the hardest working 18 through 24-year-olds are at churches and colleges, objectively. What you had said about having a distinct pathway, I think that's where we can help, because Mr. Clark has a non-profit organization it's apprenticeship based and whatnot. If we really partner with local schools and colleges, we could have classrooms full of people onboarding every month here. And then I recently started a for-profit LLC. It's a media company specifically for people like myself, so I can get paid and hired for my skills as well as ensure others get paid and hired. So that's why Mr. Clark is my not only my mentor, he's about to be my best friend, because we can actively solve that problem that you just said, where they're like, oh, there's no specific pathway. Like, we can be that, where it's like, yeah, we can have a pre-apprenticeship program at LASD on like perhaps a why am I forgetting the word? On like a club level, because if there's like 5 or more students or people, there can be like a club. If we had like a Dakar Foundation club or something for pre-apprenticeship, I think that'd be dope.
Well, I think here, so here,
I know that's a lot of
so here, I think a couple things. I heard a lot of things which are all great,
yeah,
right? But I hear a lot of different things here too. So, I'd say this. So, you earlier mentioned executive assistant, basically, right? Well, and that makes sense for your admin assistant pathway that you have on college campus for that program. If you were to go ahead and develop an admin assistant apprenticeship. I think we're talking about the hospitality apprenticeship that you have, which is a little bit separate. Their whole idea behind that is like either in, more like travel, tourism, culinary arts. That's
we can develop something, a certificate, a pathway that is based on entertainment as well, because we have that open, especially if we're applying for our grants. We can have those courses, including event management, the AI course that she creates, and tie that into the media arts.
So the issue is we're gonna have an issue because of top code, and it's not in your area. So, in your area, media arts does not live in your top code, basically.
No, but most of the classes would still be the classes he's talking about for an executive assistant, which are in
that makes sense. We're gonna say we're gonna develop an admin assistant, executive assistant apprenticeship. That makes sense, okay?
Right.
That totally, I understand that. Because as I said, that's one area you can develop. You have the hospitality one you're trying to develop right now, right? So that's just 2 separate pathways. From arts and media, that's what I'm saying. It's in a different area of top code, basically. It wouldn't live with you, basically, in your subject matter expertise area. I like what you're doing. I think what you have is great for the partnerships and the pathways for jobs, but you're able to replace them. If we were to develop a partnership with an apprenticeship, it would be with a different area of our college. So it's a little bit different basically, right? So we have to go by what we're qualified to teach in all areas. So it's like I'm qualified to teach computers basically, right? So I've taught cybersecurity, networking. If I was to develop those type of apprenticeships if I was going back to the faculty, that's the area I would develop and work in basically, right? So it's by our requirement what's available to us, which we're our expertise is, okay? So I think they're kind of a little melding here, which you're kind of working in basically.
It's definitely a customization of things. And when I use the word integration, integrating the system of hospitality, management, tourism, all of those things to me mean that those people who are entering that career pathway in that industry, we have a baseline of things that they need to know in order to compete in those resorts, those casinos, those hotels, and any place that they may take their wares. The one thing that's consistent that we haven't really talked about, Eleanor and I, is about AI. We have an AI support specialist program attached to our apprenticeship and apprenticeship. I was excited about the idea of using some of the things that we've learned about strategy and bringing these tools to the career pathways that are probably going to need it and don't know that they're going to need it until it's too late. We want to be in the future of giving people a chance to use what generative AI tools have been certified, the safeness, the ethics of it, so that they can actually start to have the certification of AI as opposed to just learning tools. They can learn all the nuances of how these things can make them more competitive in any industry. But the integration of hospitality, everything I do is an entertainment-based company. Is event planning, management, and execution.
So are you looking to part of it as a hospitality apprenticeship pathway, if that's what you're saying, then that makes total sense. But would that make sense for your apprentices? Or that's what they're looking for? Because I feel like they'd be looking for more a media and applied arts area.
Let me jump in real quick. So I think from what I'm hearing, the one line that is consistent amongst the producers, project management, people that work in TV and film and media, and then also with hospitality, is they all have to be people persons, I guess you could say. You know what I mean? You have to learn. So it's almost like the prerequisites that you were discussing. A lot of the same. What I'm imagining or assuming is that a lot of the same prerequisites for your hospitality would also apply to our people that are coming to be producers, project managers, and probably even some of our executive producers, and you know what I mean? Like those, it's not specifically the behind the camera, the actual, lighting people and the directors and the cinematographers, but all of the executives, I think that's a thing, like generally they're dealing with talent. They're dealing with the executives. They're dealing with, the budgets and things like that, which those same systems and experiences would apply in hospitality.
Thank you.
Now, how to tie that together, I don't know. You
guys
are the experts in that space.
Thank you.
Hold on a second. So the whole, so I think it's. I don't even think it's something that we need to explain to him. It's really, you would need to say, hey, I hear what you're saying. I think if this is a space, this is where it would apply. Because, again, I think when you're thinking TV and film media, you're thinking lights, camera, action. But behind the scenes, the dealing with the contracts, the dealing with who's bringing in the producers and who's working with the people, I think that is hospitality.
Thank you. And can I bridge off of that, or Mrs.
Well,
Blair?
no, because we only got a certain amount of time right now. The majority of things that I want to hear is from them about what is it that they'd like to have at the end of the day. What kind of innovative, and that's what we're looking for right now, what kind of innovative things would attract the kinds of students that we want to hire? That's what I'm looking for. Not the people who are siloed into things that maybe don't merge in anybody's minds, but if I'm a job hire.
So here's what I'll tell you. So what we're doing this as part of a state initiative, right? The state is trying to push 500,000 apprenticeships in the next number of years, basically, throughout the state. But they're trying to develop them along pathways where are predefined, basically, right now. So right out here, we have one in early childhood education, basically, right? The state has real clear requirements of hours in service, hours of the children license review, basically, right? Testing examination. We have one for auto mechanics, basically, right? In Hermon as well. That's very clearly laid out by our partnerships with Ford, Mopar, just down Atlantis and Dodge. So they're very laid out. They're laid out with a lot of the educational agencies and the industry manufacturers themselves, right? So the whole real issues we've had is that the state model of they have to be paid, basically, right? Employment and a clear line of they're learning something and they're being paid, and there's an escalation of pay and skill set, basically, which is what is required by the state. Now, a pre-apprenticeship program are set up for those that have issues or have less defined areas, or will have a lower set of skill sets. Like we're working on one with LAUSD to move their early childhood education pre-apprenticeships into our actual apprenticeship model, basically. But the thing is, there's a lot of need for early childhood education. There's just so much need for that, basically, right? So it's very clear defined, and they're trying to develop direct pathways. I think what you guys are talking about is really needed in the arts and technical applied area, basically, right? And I do agree with it. I like what you're doing. In fact, you're getting paid. I'll be honest with you, it blows my mind right now. And it's one of the hardest things we have.
It is a mind-blowing experience because most of everything that I've learned about these young people here is they are trying to survive, trying to figure out how to stay above water while they're going to courses, while they're getting classes. Some of them are getting financial aid and they have to go to classes just to keep their financial aid, so they can't come to workshops, they can't do these things. So after about 6 or 7 years of dealing with the community colleges and understanding what the unmet needs are of the students, that's why I'm interested in entertaining hospitality management, because that's all we do, is we plan, execute events on platform, on budget, and on time.
If you're talking about more like hospitality as an event manager, I can see where it makes took place with creating an event, creating a project, having a bunch of background. I can see that piece take place. But I mean, I'm doing wrong. As I sit here, I really see when I see here cameras, it's
How about we take the cameras?
No,
but
I'm saying,
can I
please?
no, this is just for the, yeah, cause I want to give you guys a chance, but I think this is good discourse. We did this so that you could see what a set was. In perfect planning, we could have taken you on the tour first, so you can see how this venue is set up for every aspect of event planning and production and execution on the highest level of what people would have learned.
So
yeah, because we're community college, so these are students that are entering, and the information we're getting is these students have to have the skills of, you know, managing the desk, event management, that type of thing, which is under our purview.
And what is your purview, to be clear?
I am chair of the hospitality
Chair
management.
of hospitality
And I'm
management.
one of the event management
She's our
professors.
wonderful-
Fort Worth
I'm
College?
like, all right, I've been listening.
Right, and
I've
so-
got
so-
some thoughts.
So if we started without the cameras and the lights, and you looked at this venue as a blank canvas, this is a place that's turned into.
if you tell me that, then they go that angle, that it can make sense, that I can sell to the state, that with state, you know, standards basically, right? Because I think they already have some standards already that are already out there basically, right? But the majority on our side, they have clear defined ones for like culinary arts,
Yes.
retail hospitality. They have those that are clearly defined out. There really isn't one for the event management. That's a little bit because of the cross the
Gray
lines.
area.
Yeah, a little gray area. Across the area of business. I think what you guys do right here.
That's the most solid. I mean, if a person learns how to be a event producer, event manager, they're at the top
Yeah.
of the pyramid, and all the entry-level positions working up towards that, whether it be culinary or whatever, great. But we're in a position to really give these people executive level training
And I hear you saying.
for career pathways, not for jobs.
And I hear you. The issues with the state looking for the basic right, the state standards basically right. They're looking for a little more clear, defined pathways basically right. Okay. Because they're saying, okay, well, because I'm saying, oh, you have an apprenticeship, and I went to apprenticeship over there basically right. Is it equal on par by the state right? So I have people that went to like a construction apprenticeship over here with local 199 down in LA, and you have some that are up in Northern California was 3777. I went to work before this right. Construction, I know they can go ahead and build a house. They can sit for a general contractor license. They have their subcontractor license, basically, right?
Yeah.
Clearly defined, basically. Right? Same with our other centers. This is a little hodgepodge. So the event management, we define things out, basically.
And we're an art. I think that's one of the things that, you know, with the professions that we're in, you know, one of the things that I always hear from students is, don't put me in a box. I don't want to be in a box. I want to have flexibility. I want to be able to jump from interest to interest, which is great. But if you can't open a PDF, you're not going anywhere, right? And so with event management specifically, just listening even to what, you know, what's being said, it makes me excited because a lot of students feel very pigeonholed into, I can only do culinary, I can only do tourism, or I'm only going to do, you know, go to LA Live and hopefully grab a job there, and now I'm stuck. This is showing me, you know, yes, the avenue may be film, maybe lighting, maybe, but all the different tools that you need to be a successful event manager and even make a production run smoothly, like having an event manager on staff would probably be killer. So if you could cross-pollinate, you know, the skills that you learned there, they could take that anywhere. Maybe that's their avenue.
Let me give you a case study. My first apprenticeship contract was with the state of California, California Jobs First. I don't know if you ever heard of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
Yep.
I'm a board member with California Jobs First. They
Yeah.
gave me a contract. The contract was a hospitality management contract where I had to plan 5 different events for the 5 regions
Amazing.
of the county of Los Angeles. But on there was the required things that I had to do to make each one of these events unique to the people in those geographies.
Yes.
Fundamental, we had to have cameras to record.
Yeah.
We had to have lighting, we had to have sound engineering, we had to have all that stuff. But what our apprentices learned is really how we could take any contract
Yes,
and be able to break it down
exactly.
and to meet all the deliverables, again, on time, on budget, and on platform.
And that makes
And
sense.
not offending
Yeah.
anyone.
Yeah, and that makes total sense.
Being
to
a
me.
people person.
And that makes total sense to know you put together or
Yeah.
as event management, as part of hospitality management. That
Yeah.
makes total sense.
Yeah.
But what I'm saying is that, remember I said clear defined pathways. We can't see
Yeah.
what I see here though, basically, right? So I'm just saying that. So this is the thing, the thing is, this, okay? If you're gonna say we're gonna have event management pathway, these are the people right here. Okay?
That's what we're going.
Okay.
We're gonna lose these
Okay,
cameras.
hold on. But what I mean is, but if you're trying to tell me, oh, I want to throw a camera thing in this here and light, that's a totally different set of people, basically. That these people are very qualified for what they do, but it's a different set of people that deal with that.
I guess I should not tell you that I do teach our event management students how to gaff cable.
That's wild.
Just
because.
like, how do you lay it out in
You
your
don't want to trip on the
walkways
cable.
so it's not an emergency hazard?
So listen, I used to be DJ all through college.
I
can
know.
gaff cable as well.
That's why I'm trying to
saying,
tap
though,
into that part.
But what I'm saying,
We need the DJ and the D.
what I'm talking about is this: what pathways are in the state. What we're trying to get with through the state, our
Yeah.
state apprenticeships, basically. There are standards we have to go by. Basically, we're working with organizations that are helping us do that process because of the fact that the state's trying to push us across 500,000 students moving forward, right? They don't want like, okay, well, you went to apprenticeship here, well, you made it because quit here, now you're Northern California, now Southern California, whatever it is. You can move into another apprenticeship, basically, right? And it's a traditional model. It's not necessarily the same one as back in the old days where, okay, you were a part of the plumbers union, carpenter union, welders union, where you had, okay, a 5-year journeyman. That doesn't really exist in what these type of apprenticeship we're talking about right now. There isn't a 5-year. Those things still exist. I still partake in those ones, basically, right? But it's a totally different beast and set with the union contract, union halls. It's a totally different thing. The state is trying to push apprenticeships because they want students to get experience, not just education as well. They want to get paid. They don't want people to be unpaid as free labor, basically. They're really looking for the benefit of the apprenticeships, basically, right? And so I'm all for the ones I think we can do with this group of people here.
Well, mine,
basically.
I'll tell you,
Yeah.
one of the things that we did talk about is some of the active grant opportunities aside from the CAI, like Koya. We haven't gotten our Koya, money or anything else, but we've taken people, 18s, 23, we've taken these people through an experience. And when you talk about career discovery, and career exploration for 18 to 24-year-olds, we have a lot of resources for them. They get paid, they get hardware and software reimbursement, clothing, childcare. They get a lot of those things that we can bring into the mix with your CIA grant. And those, I think right now the cap is 100 people. Right now they're going to give us 10.
And they pay per student, basically, how they do it.
They pay us for training, and they pay the student $1,500 cash and about another $3,000 in resources.
Oh, more like stipend basically. Okay. So.
Right. But the most important thing is they won't allow them to fall through the cracks through this experience by saying, hey, I gotta have a second job. I gotta go to Starbucks, so I can't go to
Make them focus.
the producer who's going to hire me to
And how many hours do they put in basically?
Well, for pre-apprenticeship, it's not as structured.
Oh, yeah, it's not as structured.
But apprenticeship, it is.
Yeah.
So I have to have 144 hours of ours.
Yeah. And they're all paid for 144 hours, basically.
Yes.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So we have a pretty good
Yeah.
understanding of what the students are looking for. Now, honestly, they love the affiliation with Kevin Hart's stage. This is the entity that attracts a lot of people
Yes.
who ordinarily would say, $1,500 is not enough. I can get my own computer. They want to come here to figure out what are the opportunities to be able to think outside of not only academia and regular workforce or entry-level position. You don't know who you're going to meet in the mix that this man set up for us. And that's what we really have as a competitive advantage over any other apprenticeship who have money, who have buildings, they got 4 walls and a ceiling, but it's just a box.
Here, I'm all for apprenticeships, but usually the fact that it's a more digital pathway to put the students through, basically, right? Like what I'm saying is that the actual alignment, basically, right? So I think it just be very clear, basically, with the standards of what they're saying they're going to do, basically, right? What are we trying to do? What are we trying to set up? What are we trying to partner with? What are we saying is happening, basically, on this apprenticeship site? Because the fact that we're it's standards that be, it's not like a work for free environment, it's a work and learn and train environment basically, right? So that Peter, so the question is, what are we agreeing to saying we're doing basically, right?
And I would dare say that any of the event management experience they get working with us, we've attracted partners like UCLA, Anderson School of Business, who hire us to do a lot of their production work. But all of their event management stuff that they do are events for the MBA program, and all of it is it's all event based, and from catering to all the other vendors that they learn how to do, all this stuff is what we have exposure to. And that's how basically we've kept alive, is with our partnership with UCLA and USC. So we have plenty of work. We just need partners who have a lot more structure in what the learning outcomes can be, that the state can then look at and say, oh, okay, these guys got the RSI, but they can also see that people who come through the program and maybe get hired. That's what we're looking to do, is to get these people hired, W2, at least 10 to 20 hours of work. And that's where I come in. I'm gonna hire these people if nobody else is. Because I'm working on my own events, my own productions. So I'm one of the few people who is pledged to hire folks who I can't place.
Yeah, that is good. I'm just thinking about, pipeline challenge, and then enrollment numbers. And that's always a question. You said you 18.
Well, no, 1824 is just for COIA. But there are other grants available for people over 24. And I know the average age of the California Community College student is a lot older. But the thing is that if we want to be innovative and we want to be able to take in the CIA grant that you guys are going for, no one else will integrate things that are integratable. And with AI, especially with AI, not the AI everybody's buying off the shelf and in box, to teach you, how to, be able to play the alphabet game. We're literally going to give people a chance to integrate AI in a way where they do not project-based learning, challenge-based learning, to make their event management systems work better.
I mean, I think if we have that partnership, it's going to be very exciting for students. And, if we promote it the right way and create the promotions like we've done for, through the hospitality, I think it will be a really, wonderful opportunity for the students.
So here's the thing. The question is always a number of partners and employers of partners. Because I'll tell you, our issue is always also, we have enrollment based numbers we have to make, right? And then our enrollment numbers for apprenticeship, you have the outlet basically into the workforce. So the thing is, do we have enough people that are in the workforce to absorb the number of apprentices we take in the program and feed out?
To create a bunch of availables, but if there's nothing available for
what would be a number for you guys is this first semester? If we get something the first semester, how many people would you like to see could get qualified for at least an interview for a real W2 position?
So we have not established a hospitality or event management apprenticeship yet, right? We're in the process of exploratory, basically we do all that, and then now we're working on applying for an actual program. My other, I'll give you an example. So, my two other actual apprenticeships I have on campus. One, I have early childhood education pathways. We have two main employers, and they feed us, the students, basically, right? They actually do the hiring process themselves. They feed us the population, basically. We have incoming cohorts of 30 to 40 every semester for this apprenticeship. So they'll come through the first semester, take the first class, second class, but also they're actually out there working in the fields and being placed by the agency, basically, right? So it's a real, like right now, I want to say we're in our fifth semester. We have about 200 students basically in this apprenticeship, roughly, just around there. But the series of courses they have to go through. When they're done with this apprenticeship, they'll get a certificate from the college for our achievement. They also have the certification from the state, basically, right, and also have their license as well, basically, in California to do early childhood. So it's all three things in the mix, basically, right? But it's a huge pipeline. The employers are on board. The demand is so high, basically, right? So
this is a new program.
So we're in our third year.
One of the programs.
Right, because here's
I'll tell you a new program. I'll give you a new program. Okay. So we do have a newer program, basically, right, for automotive apprenticeship, basically, right, okay? The automotive apprenticeship is built around the exact courses that we offer in our structured program, basically, right, for our certificate of achievement and our associate's pathway. But the thing is, we also have an apprentice section for it as well. We meld together basically with our actual credit section, basically. But the thing is, we have about 17 in that one. But the thing is, we have partnerships with Ford, Toyota, basically, right? Stellantis, which is a Chrysler Jeep Dodge, basically, right? So, and we have different locations, and those, like, you know, like in Northwest Toyota, we have about 6 students over there. We have someone at 4. You know, the thing is, we have to get
But it's a total of 17
Yeah.
for the new one.
yeah,
right
but anyway,
now.
but the thing is, it's about opening up enough to have enough pathways. But the thing is, as there people are starting out and say, okay, this is work, do we like this? We can bring on more, or our sister dealerships, right? And the thing is, something like that is a little bit dangerous, right? Because the thing is, you know, I'll give you an example, right? I had an apprentice, you know, about 3 weeks ago, do an oil change, forgot to put oil back in the engine, something flying off, basically, right? I'm now dealing with an issue of a brand new Lexus with
Motor.
that needs an engine, basically, right?
Yeah.
So, but also danger, cars can fall off racks. So these types of apprenticeships, they're highly structured, also very risk averse, and they put a lot of things in place. Same with welders, you know, people can blow up while you're welding, basically, right?
Absolutely.
Construction people fall off roofs, so they're a lot more structured. They're dangerous, but people are being paid full wages, basically. People are getting, you know, 401k is part of this, basically, full medical, full dental, basically, if they're a full-time employee apprentice. Some are part-time only, basically, so it depends on what it is. The issue here is, right, I would say this, if we were to get the event management, hospitality, you know, apprenticeship going, the issue is that you guys would be great as part of that process if you're looking for event management or hospitality, event management, what that looks like, right, okay? We wouldn't be able to do this side, well, not this group here, right, so do this camera side, but then we will also, on our side, need to have more, either you can take on more yourself, basically we have like a child development, we have 2 employers, or we would just need a lot more partners in the process to kind of say, yeah, we'll take on more apprenticeships. Well, our issue for our hospitality, I'll be honest, we've had a little bit of difficulty getting employers to sign on board based on the pay is what the issue has been, right?
Yeah.
For this
Right.
area.
Yeah, and one of the things that we have an advantage because of the impending amount of sports media entertainment commerce coming through the Olympics, World Cup, you know,
Right,
internationally.
exactly.
We have a lot of contractors
Okay.
who, as a matter of fact, I'm in a contracting bid for all this kind of work, but also the planning and the management. I'd love to be able to think that you guys would want to be in on
Yes.
all this work that we're looking for, LA City and LA County. Not just citizens, but just people who are in workforce, who can go through all the qualifications and all of this stuff that everybody needs to have in order to even be considered for these opportunities. I think the LA 28 plan, at the very least, would be something that would attract everybody in all of your areas of hospitality. And you're not going to find this anywhere else. This is the perfect time for us to see if we can help thread the eye to needle for those people who would especially use generative AI tools to help them with applications. Because that's where people really need help, is making sure that they submit the right data, the right information, and it looks like it's somebody that has the capabilities. What this man has done, he said, I can get a letter of certification from his organization, Kevin Hart.
No way.
No, I mean, well, I don't know about a lot of people, but if I can get a letter of recommendation from Kevin Hart,
That would be
Mhm.
amazing.
Huge.
I think I hear everything you're saying, and I feel like we're kind of trying to go at it. I think the line that I'm drawing between hospitality and TV and film is the exact position is a line producer. A line producer in TV and film is really an event planner. It's in hospitality. They're hiring, they're taking care of the budgets, they're managing the workflow, they're making sure that so and so gets paid. They're so
Coordinating everything.
it's not the upfront the positions you hear about, but as we're talking about it and you're explaining the necessities, it's almost like having an associate's degree in business management. And then maybe you get a degree in business management, and then you can choose whatever you feel you want because you have the essentials, you have the fundamentals. It sounds as if you need to, in order to feed your brain and make sure that they have all of the requirements, you just need them to choose a specific pathway beyond.
There are a few things. So for example, you said the line producer.
Yeah.
Like what we have to also talk about basically, right, on our side is something called a SOC code, right?
Okay.
A standard occupational code, which is set up by the Bureau of Justice. In that big giant list, you'll find everything there. Yeah. So like if you're talking about this line producer, we have a moment.
Yeah.
Take a look at what kind of job codes fit what you're talking about and what we are looking at produce with this crew here. This group here. Basically.
Yeah.
Because sometimes we go, oh well, like I've had like for example, some people in the business department, they'll come to, oh we want to do this. I say that doesn't work well. Yes, it's an auditor, an advanced auditor. Yes, we teach accounting, but the thing is, we're a 2-year degree college, basically, right? Okay, what you were talking about is post-baccalaureate, basically, for auditing, advanced auditing hours. Yeah. That's something we don't do, basically, right? It is not ours. So that's the next level with the CSU and the UC. And we're focused on the first 2 years of education and workforce training, basically, especially in curriculum education, which is my area. So I handle all career technical education across the board, from applied science, applied arts, business applied area, so all those things. I don't really deal with academics, basically, right? So for example, biotech, all applied science, all the trades, me. Biology pure itself is going to be pre-med major, it's with the Dean of Math and Science. Okay? So nursing's mine, basically, for example, all that applied area. So the thing is, what you're talking about, I hear a couple things. I'll be honest, I hear everything from you, right? I hear everything. I hear talking about AI, and I'll be honest, in my mind, I hear part of it's here, a part of it is part of it is in the media arts department, basically, a part of it is my computer science department, basically, and I'll be honest, it's all over the place. I hear what you're saying. You kind of narrow it down for a little bit, at least the line production part of it. I can see that and what you were talking about earlier, basically, right? And that makes sense to me, right? If we're aligning correctly, the thing is, the question was, well, does our current hospitality itself really meet that alone right now, or was it something we write extra classes for, basically? Is that something we have to create, and then that creation, will it be successful enough to have enough of a pipeline, right? Because the thing is, what the state's trying to do is 500,000 apprentices move to the pipeline, basically, amongst a bunch of fields, but enough fields where they're going to go through. There isn't so much room for niche fields, basically, the fact that if you don't have a pipeline, where are they going to end up, and then are they falling out? Because one of my mandates, my guidelines is given, not set by me, but set by the feds, actually. So there are 3 things, right? High skill, high wage, high demand. We have to meet all 3 things. The thing is, if it's not high skill, why do you need us training for it? If it's not high demand, there's no jobs for it. If it's not high wage, why are we training you for a low skill job, basically, right? The goal is to create taxpayers, close that equity gap and economic gap within populations, basically, right? And how are we going to do that, basically, right? I'll be honest. So the thing is,
however, that's why specifically the state is promoting hospitality management as one of them, because the demand is there, okay? And that's why they opened up the application for the implementation grant, which we want to go for. So those courses that we're talking about, event management and the AI that we were looking to create, it does fall under us. And that's why I also brought Corinne in here, so that she can kind of see, if she's creating that course or helping to create that course, what exactly we want in that course in terms of curriculum that can also be part of this pathway that we're creating.
So I'll least speak about AI for a second, to get you guys off the. So when we're talking about AI in your area, we're looking at usage. So hold don't, just use it, it's all.
Oh yeah, no, don't worry.
Yeah,
Right.
But if I may
But
interject,
that's also, I believe, what Kevin was talking
Yeah.
about.
I'm gonna actually push myself in this time.
Right, please, I want to hear
I'm
you.
ready. Throw me in, coach. One of the reasons I got involved in community college was because when I was hiring people to work for my company, they did not have the skills that I thought they should have had. Like, why am I teaching my employees how to use Outlook? Why am I teaching my employees if I can't just tell them like, hey, we've got a meeting in 10 minutes, can you throw together a quick agenda? And they're like, what should I use? I'm like, are you kidding me? Right? And I figured there had to be a place that's probably not high school, because everyone just assumed, oh, they're young, they know how to use tech.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah, you know how to use tech, but not for the environment, you know, that I'm expecting you to use it for. So I was like, maybe community college, because who has time or money to commit to a 4-year degree and then expect to have a job at the same time? So I threw my hat in the ring and honestly completely forgot about it until you guys called. And when I interviewed and you asked me to do a presentation on, of all things, Excel, I was like, these are the people. And they're asking me, just as a professional, to show, can I make a basic freaking spreadsheet, right? And communicate the information in a way that is digestible. You gave me 5 minutes, right? Anyone should be able to do that, right? In 5 minutes. And what I love about what you're saying is that, you know, the partnership that could exist is that we are the place, you know, community college is the place where students can learn, but also make the mistakes that you don't want to make in front of an executive. Like, be in my class and give me a horrible presentation, right? And get the feedback, or get the feedback on, hey, you're coming off a little aggressive. Or, hey, did you notice that you do this every time you talk? Let's try something different in a safe space. You can fail my assignment and not fail at life, but you can't fail standing up in front of your colleagues, right? And my fear, the reason I bring that up, my fear is there are places like Google that are like, forget school, we're gonna build our own stuff. You can just go to us, get certified, we're gonna put you out there. There is a demand that I fear the community colleges, not just us, but like any community college, is gonna start getting cut out, because why don't I just start my own company? Why don't we just start a company together where we teach these skills? And we're gonna come up with our own certifications, right? But that's not the thing. A lot of employers still want to see, and we ask this of our hospitality, other partners, you know, professions, the person who has a degree from a school is gonna get a higher look at, basically, than someone who just maybe went on Udemy, you know, and completed a course. So we want to create something, and not to you know, to poop on Udemy. Like, I've done some other stuff and it's amazing and excellent, right? Like good content creation. It's going to be the nonprofits. It's going to be the nonprofits who are going to step in and fill that gap. So how can we find a way to work together to meet federal, right? The federal and the state, because we want to put that stamp on someone's, you know, certificate or someone's degree, but also get you who you need ASAP with experience that you can rely on and know, oh, if you came from peers, if you came from this program to your apprenticeship, not only, yes, are they going to get paid and they're going to get the real world, but you know that there are certain standards that have been met.
So one of the more unique experiences we've had here is we had an executive, Marcelino, told me that if you do a 90-second pitch test, and you allowed everybody unscripted to tell us why we should adopt or care about you. We had over 57 people get on camera and do a 90-second pitch, and we had a timer, we cut them off after 90 seconds. And 70% of those people were CSU 4-year graduates. And only 5 of them made the cut. So one of the things we do know is, aside from all the certifications and all the SOC codes and all of the things that they need to learn how to pitch themselves.
I get the whole elevator pitch thing. I get that, but we're gonna have to align, or any apprenticeship is gonna have to align with a workforce outcome and occupation. So you said, I'll be honest, what you said to me made total sense, okay?
Yeah.
You said what you're looking for is a line producer.
Yeah.
A line producer does X, Y, and Z. Basically, there's gonna be a skill set right there. You know, you said I need this, and this.
Yeah.
That's what it is. The job is the same way I said, okay, I need a mechanic or I need a nurse, and this way.
Exactly.
So that's what I'm saying. It has to be kind of defined out there, basically, right? And I think it would be different if they said, oh, this is a new and emerging occupation, basically, right?
Yeah.
But I don't think that's what we're talking about. We're talking about event management. We're talking about applied arts in
Well,
here.
he hit it right on
Yeah.
the head, line
So-
producers, that's
yeah.
exactly,
Right.
I mean,
So-
And again, I understand that there are requirements. You know,
Yeah.
you're talking grants, you're talking again federal, state, you're talking schools, and
Yeah.
I think it sounds as if whatever program is created, the people that come out of it, if they don't get into hospitality, what we're saying is we could use you because
Yeah.
you understand that. You could be a great line producer.
Exactly.
Come over here. So this is another opportunity.
Yeah.
And it might be something that you guys hadn't considered instead of just,
Yeah.
hotel and things like that.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh no, this is an additional outlet for you.
Exactly.
So
Exactly.
maybe if we start thinking about it like that, then you guys can kind of powwow and see how we can create this program that benefits both of us. Because if we can get better producers, because like you said, we don't have a standard necessarily.
Yeah.
Hey, can you help me do this? And if they can, cool. You work your way up, you'll eventually be a line producer.
Yeah.
And it works that way, but if we could get more qualified that came through a system, a pre-apprenticeship, apprenticeship, maybe some certification, and associates, that makes a better producer. That gives us a better product on the out end. Again, you don't necessarily need to worry about the TV and film side of it, but you're placing them in a job, in a place that you guys probably hadn't considered before.
That's fine. That's
Yeah.
fine. As long as we're talking about clearly defined training and outcome based, right? So is that you're telling me we're doing hospitality management, we're trying to hospitality management in there, event planning
Right.
fits basically, right? It's in
Absolutely.
that scope.
Absolutely.
It's in that scope of what the standard occupational codes and the when I say top codes, we taxonomy programs, of what lives in that field, of who's qualified. The state mandates who's qualified to teach what. Like I can teach computers basically, right? I can teach business, I can't teach,
Dance.
Yeah, exactly. It's not.
But you can teach
it's
DJing
not-
though. You can teach DJing.
I can't. Actually, I can't.
To apply for that applied word.
Yeah, get your hours from the.
Exactly.
I DJed all through undergrad and grad school, but technically I can't teach music or commercial music.
Okay. Yeah.
I can't teach it. Doesn't allow me to do that. That's not what the state minimum quality handbook says. There's a minimum quality handbook for community college, the university level, basically.
Yeah.
It's very clearly defined. That's what I'm saying. Some things that they can handle here, basically, and other things you've been mentioning really don't live in that space.
Yeah.
And I feel like, to be honest with you, right? As I hear what you're talking about, I hear like this line producer is some of this stuff or a lot of this stuff, and then some knowledge of this back end grip work and camera work and all that. I'll be honest with you. I sat on a lot of different advisory board meetings for a lot of areas. I'll sit down, I'll be listening to people from Hollywood, the studios, working in this studio, that studio, even salesmen who are selling all the high end equipment right now. And I asked the guys like grip for like 20 plus years, teaches everybody, makes like $75 an hour, $100 an hour, whatever. How did you become? Oh, I come to them, and then
My uncle.
Yeah, he's like my uncle, basically. Right? So how's this guy go? Well, this guy goes, well, you just kind of whatever. Not one replicated pathway. I'm like, how do I work with that, basically, right? I've just been able to produce this, and the thing about curriculum education, the thing is that it's something that you can reproduce and teach to other people across the board and help them close the achievement gap and allow them to earn a skill set, living wage, do whatever they do for family, and that's the whole key behind it. Sometimes I have a hard time with the applied arts because like I have no idea how to give a student a pathway to the next step or to achieve their dream, basically, right? When I have not heard one standard pathway throughout any of it, basically, right?
Yeah.
I have no idea what to tell you.
Yeah.
I said, but you know somebody, basically, that's it.
I agree that it's always been that way, but I think part of what we're trying to do is we're trying to create a better workforce.
And I like that. I like what you guys are doing.
And I think that's the concept.
I like that as well. So the fact you guys have paid outlets, you're halfway there for me already, okay? The part where you're not there for me yet is this. is what skill set we're talking about, where can you define, where does it actually live, basically. I hear event manager right here. If the other part you're talking about, that's just something I have talked to Michael again. He does the performing arts. That's where his technical theater lies. He does all that stuff. You talk about recording and music, that's got to be Mark Cross.
Yeah.
He teaches commercial music, he handles all
But
that.
he was talking about
Yeah.
initially that this particular
know.
pathway
I know.
for.
I'm just telling
Yeah.
him, I'm just telling where it
So I'm
belongs.
saying
Yeah.
that, so that's where I think
Yeah.
it fits, especially for community college, because there's no reason that an individual can't go through this pathway, right? And when completing this pathway and they have the apprenticeship, they can then take additional classes if they want, because we're talking about community, our classes here. So if they wanted to go forward and specialize in those other areas additionally, they can do that.
And I hear that. So what I'm saying is that to what he's trying to find, what they're looking for, basically, right?
Mhm.
It's,
Right.
I said, I'm hearing a lot of stuff. I'm saying right here, basically, right?
Yeah.
If you're talking about hospitality, event management, this makes sense right here in this space here.
Yeah.
If you're talking about other stuff, basically,
Yeah.
that's really a different conversation, whether it's the performing arts, or the recording, or editing, or sound engineering, that's somewhere else. Okay?
Right, so when I look at
Yeah.
the line producer, key responsibilities, what they do, analogy, and outcomes, and what they,
Yeah.
this is it.
Yeah.
And these skills and mindset
Mm.
that will be developed for these people,
Yeah.
they can be competitive throughout every aspect of what you're doing in hospitality. But they could also, again, be useful in somebody else's industry, of course. Their line producers are, I would next.
Yeah, and it could be a different occupation. It could be a different occupation. You can clearly define it and get what that looks like.
Yeah.
What SOCO, that's great. Yeah, you raise your hand forever.
I'm forever. I'm going crazy. I'm
yeah,
not
I
gonna
see
lie.
you. Yeah.
So Lord forgive me, but yeah, no,
Yeah.
like earlier I said, shoot for the stars and on the moon, provide resources for hard media skills, like so in general community college, like I dropped out of Tracy Savage's photography class.
Okay.
I was too stressed with working to even complete that. Hence why I'm still here, because I'm still gonna go to Pierce, I'm still gonna go to UCLA. God bless Mr. Clark. More on context though. It's like there are many different classes. The reason why I even started a media company in general is because it's so broad. It fits anywhere and everywhere.
Yeah.
That's where I saw that your perspective, you're like, it's tough to fit into niche things.
Yeah.
I agree. I'd like to flip that on the table as to how broad media is and why Mr. Clark's idea was so great, because shoot for the stars could be, I want to be the next Michael B. Jordan. But what if you don't get there? You could still be a line producer. You can still be in the apprenticeship program, learn the different skills, hop across Pierce College in different classes, and still be part of the Dakar Foundation.
And that's
if we partner up with LAUSD.
And I hear you saying about what we can do here with this group right here. We're talking about right now. So all about where does it line? Where does it happen? Basically, right. So I'm saying it. So this is event management and hospitality. This is what this is right here. This is what we're trying to develop. And that's it. If that says okay, that can be a line producer basically right afterwards. Port right over.
Yeah.
If I'm one of your apprentices, I say, hey, I have a certificate or an associate in hospitality management basically right. That's what the degree says.
Yeah.
Can I go be a line producer now, basically? Well, a producer or an executive would say, I don't know if this fits, basically. That's the question.
I promise you,
Okay.
they will say yes.
Okay.
Not only that,
Okay.
and to mention, you mentioned something earlier. The people that work in hospitality aren't necessarily going to know camera, film, blah, 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 blah. In the same way that they're not necessarily going to know if they're in hospitality, they're not going to be a chef.
Yeah.
They're not going to necessarily,
Yeah.
know how to, all of these other things, but they have the skill set to hire these people. You know what I mean? And they say, okay, I need this person, so let me hunt this down. Let me hire
Know
this
their
person.
functions.
That is exactly what it is in TV and film in that line producer space. They don't have to know how to use a camera, but they know I got to call this person or these group of people to hire this. So that again, and I'm not trying to pitch you, but I'm just saying, your hospitality students would be amazing producers, and they would probably get hired way quicker than anybody else, because like you mentioned earlier, we don't have the prerequisites. So people are just kind of coming in without a certification.
Yeah.
So again, I don't know how that applies directly to this. If it's a program that we can say, do this event planning, hospitality program and we want to be an outlet
Mhm.
for certain people who are inclined to entertainment.
Yeah.
They have the skill set to go do that, but they can also do this if they don't get hired over there.
So can we agree that the line producer is some starting point to talk about integration?
Well, yeah, it's a talk. It's not what we talk about, basically. But I would say this, right? I would say, I think you should provide to them the course outline and record for the classes that are actually proposed in our hospitality managed certificate, and see if that's something that they say, oh yeah, I do value these skill sets. I do think they would accept these basically. Because I'll be real honest, right? My whole issue is that I don't want to misalign and misdirect a student. I'm thinking I'm going to do this, but it's really more for that basically, right?
Yeah.
And that's what you don't want to do.
Well, yeah, we're customizing a curriculum and all of the training towards what you guys want as opposed to what we want. We're looking for the best humans who have the best skill sets and the best manageable talent. And if anybody that we've talked to right now, I don't know if they can be a line producer.
Yeah, and
I want them to be a line producer, but I don't know if we've got that.
Sorry, Mon, I'm quitting.
Yeah, no,
I found a new avenue.
Well,
Line
I'm pretty sure line producer gets paid more than a director too. Like line producer is Michael B. Jordan, but behind the scenes.
And I am
They're
out.
extremely
Also, I want to say this also. I think
Great meeting.
I believe that
Thank you, Ken.
last time to project launch, I believe they already said that they had finalized with some other people based on their agencies what a number of the standards for hospitality. I think provide that to them as well as they look at it, basically, right?
Yeah.
And go, I do think that for like, otherwise I don't.
Exactly.
I don't want you to say, okay, yeah, you think you're gonna talk to somebody and then all the stuff, and then okay, you mentioned this kind of encompasses almost everything, basically, right?
Of course.
And then like, oh well, this is what you said, and we can't do it. Okay,
Yeah.
not this department here, basically, okay?
Yeah.
So the idea is that what we can do, what authorized to do, what our qualified skill set says that we can do in this area here, is that what we look for, and then yes, by all means.
It makes sense.
Yeah, we can go next
Well, this is exciting to me because
this other side.
this other stuff is fundamental, and more importantly, it may be being obsolescenced out of what I think people are looking for. They're looking for people with integrated skill sets, and unfortunately, again, this man has a code to help us unlock some of these people who can develop the kind of talents that 2026 is going to really need if they provide them with an opportunity to meet those people with an opportunity.
So actually, this line producer, it sounds to me like it's a little bit of some event management, some accounting, some HR skills, basically, some knowledge of the industry that you guys are looking to work in, basically, right? Also, I feel like it's a little hot. So I'll give you an example. When I was working down at Long Beach College, we had what was known as an industrial maintenance mechanic, right? Okay, they make like $200,000-300,000 a year, basically, but they know a little bit of everything, right? They know a little electrician, a little bit of diesel mechanic, a little bit of HVAC, right? And they go in and tinker, they work with stuff. But when something really happened with the big giant cranes, and okay, you need a real full-on diesel mechanic work with the engine, you can call it actual diesel mechanical work. Works with like Cat 5-ton machinery, basically, right? Okay, or true welder come on board, right? It sounds to me that what you're talking about, this line producer, is a little bit of everything, basically, right? Okay, across the board knowledge, basically, and just more depth skill as time goes on. What it sounds like, because it sounds like there's only a certain number of skills you have at the beginning, and the rest all by experience, right? Like I kind of heard from you.
I absolutely agree, and I think it's you come in just like in any position. You have a base level knowledge of things. You can do the Excel, you can do the Outlook, you can create the budget, you can make the phone calls, you can set the schedule. Event management, event planning, right? But then you excel because not only do I have that, but I met so-and-so, I was at Manier's event, or I met Kevin, so I have a connection to a TV and film studio. So maybe I can now negotiate and get the rate a little bit less. The same way an event planner or someone who worked in hospitality might, when you guys need to bring in chairs, if you don't want to buy them, you might have a relationship with a rental house. But you establish that relationship kind of after the fact. You don't have to come in with that necessarily, but if you do, great. And if not, I can provide and do the thing that I need to do.
Let me ask you a question. For your field of work, basically, right? Is there a generalist position out there, basically, that say this generalist comes in baseline, and he may end up as a grip, may end up as camera, may end up as event plan, may end up as, is there like a base skill set that
Yeah.
does that
Exists.
It does exist, and admittedly, that is me, because I'm supposed to be an apprentice, but I'm somehow also a project manager.
So I think ultimately it is very much a producer, a line producer. It's in that world. Those are the business people behind the creative. Ultimately, they're the ones that make sure that everything is paid, that everything runs smoothly, because you're dealing with a bunch in the TV and film space. You're dealing with a bunch of creatives. Your director is going to want to spend a bunch of money because he's going to want to get a crane shot, and he's going to get a helicopter, and the producer's going to have to say, no, you're going to get a drone, and we're going to manage this to make sense because we have a budget. So they're, you know what I mean. So I think that the line producer is more about literally the line items. How much am I paying the director? How much am I paying each of these people?
Let me ask you a question. Is this line producer less creative and more technocratic?
Absolutely.
Yes.
The producer, the line producer is more paper. The actual producer is the one. I have the relationship with Michael B. Jordan. I worked with this particular set of actors, so I work with Kevin Hart. I would be a producer or an executive producer because I can bring Kevin Hart to the project. So that's really my relationship. That's when you get more into the specifics.
So that's a question. So like UCLA, AFI, USC, NYU, is there a line producer degree that they offer basically, or some other skill set they offer like that?
I think that's what you were talking about. I don't know that they have a specific thing because oftentimes what will happen is a person will come in and they'll be a PA. So they're just getting in ground floor. I'm doing cables.
Yeah, but more you told me everyone there's this certain skill set that everyone needs. What are you telling me? There's skill set that everyone needs, and you're telling me now that the four major houses, right? Basically, UCLA, SC, FI, and NYU don't have
a specific pathway.
A skill that they're teaching you for that, basically.
Not that I know. I think that it would fall under business management.
Yeah. Well,
It's that type of.
Or,
you know what I mean?
And that's why
one of our partners at UCLA runs the UCLA Business Management School of Entertainment and Sports. And the things that you brought up in terms of what the skill set and the mindset of a person's line producer are really business people. They're folks who are the accountability humans for the bottom line of any operation.
And I do agree. My bad. I was like yapping a second ago. I was gonna say all that to say. I haven't completed yet, but I'm going for communications and philosophy. But admittedly, I had to study the media skills because I love it that much. If there was somebody like me who could have like a Dakar Foundation at community college, because I had to run into Sunny randomly to get to Mr. Clark.
Because I'll tell you what I hear right now. I hear this. I hear like this line producer. You need her event management class. You need her Excel skill class. You need an accounting class in the business department. You need some sort of technical theater class. Does have a background that's basic, a little bit of this, a little bit of everything, basically, so they understand how to work with the people who create this. They don't have to be creative themselves. It's like we have like all of our applied arts there. There's a technical side and a creative side, basically, right? Okay. Yeah. So and that's what I'm kind of hearing right now. It's a little bit of everything, basically, right? The degree or pathway doesn't exist, but this is something that you're telling me almost everybody that's in production in Hollywood or in the music industry kind of has to have it.
If you see any credits in the TV and film at the end, there are line producers that are buried in there. And they're not at the top, they're not at the bottom, but they're essentials. And again, these are generally the people that understand how to manage and make sure that the stuff goes and people are on schedule. And they're not necessarily, they're not the accountants because there's a whole other group of credits for accountants.
Yeah, I feel like this is like, to be honest with you, now the more I hear that, I feel more this is more like an integrated, multidisciplinary skill set or degree, which does exist out. It's like a liberal arts degree. It's like a little bit of everything, arts, humanities, you know.
But in part of the event management, we do teach the accounting
but it's
stuff.
So here's a funny thing, because Google is king, right? AI is king. Key responsibilities of a line manager, which is just the outline of my class apparently. Budgeting and finance.
Okay.
Create a budget, manage spending, find cost-saving measures, scheduling, maintain shooting schedules. Have you ever done a wedding? Jesus.
Yes.
Mhm.
Actually.
I know a lot of weddings.
10,000 person
Did you?
conference.
Yeah. We're gonna also make some. I
Hiring.
think the bartender instead.
Right?
Yeah.
Hiring,
Yeah.
department heads, manage contracts, logistics, handle equipment, locations, travel, insurance,
Yeah.
day-to-day operations.
Yeah.
If we
A
thought
liaison,
of this
right?
here,
Yeah.
like a line producer, and because it's not just filming music
Everything.
videos, it's like any presidential speech
conclusion.
you watch, any concert.
But that's the
Microsoft
event planning
panels.
side.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
if Microsoft has new technology and they want to do a panel,
Yeah.
like you do a 3-camera setup for that, and you have to figure out audio, locations. You have to figure out everything.
So this, I hear them. So I hear them that what you're, and I hear this other
Love
that
it.
you bring down this.
You're hiring those people though.
Yeah.
You don't have to have a.
You know,
So-
yeah.
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 Sourcing,
Yes,
and that's
that
the
is-
most important part.
Exactly.
You have to
You know
have
how.
an understanding of them, basically.
Yeah, you have to have
It's
a
not-
good understanding.
So, but what I would say is this, because a line producer is hired to make sure that things run smoothly.
Yeah.
You also have your producers, your director. Your director is going to come with the cinematographer. So the director and the cinematographer are going to get together and tell you what is going on with the rest of it. The line producer doesn't hire those people. That comes from the studio. So the line producer doesn't have to. He doesn't have to know what a camera, how it works, or what type of camera they're going to use. He needs to hear from the director and the cinematographer how much it's going to cost to rent that camera every day, and make sure that it fits into the budget. Which again applies to if it's hospitality, you're not necessarily creating anything, but you have to manage what this budget is.
Let me ask you a question. What does a line producer make? Starting off at mid-level.
Yes. what's
So line producers, it's difficult to say specifically because every production has a different budget. So depending on what that budget is what that line producer will get paid.
In the music video, it's 15%.
Yeah, I was
So,
gonna
like, as
say.
a director, I get 10%. If we're doing if I get a 100K music video, I'll get 10K out of that. The producer will get 15. It's not even that actually. The company that is running it gets 15 off the top, and then whatever's left, we
Everybody
do
else
15 for the line
Yeah.
producer, 10 for the director.
And then so let me ask you a question. So what does it come out to basically hourly wage?
It's gotta be. I mean,
It's-
I haven't done the math, but
Yeah.
it's well over 50. It could potentially be over $100
Yeah.
An hour.
an hour. Yeah,
It's
it's
Okay.
it's a lot of time.
it could be a good chunk of
Okay,
money.
so I'm hearing now in my head. Okay, the high wage metric I said about
It's met.
That's met. I'm hearing a high skill set metric met also the various things. You need to know some of this stuff here. You need to know more of this stuff, basically more technocratic stuff. I hear that basically, right?